Well, we got a rubber seal that goes between the bulkhead here and the wood framework. Just sits in here, down along here, and then that whole thing gets bolted together. And of course the one we have is in multiple pieces. I don't know if the original one was multiple pieces or not, but we've got to try to fit that in there and get all our holes lined up and then bolt that bulkhead to this wooden framework and get that done. And then really what we need to do, this skin is just sitting on here. We pull this skin off, and underneath here the wood is really bad, and we got to start working our way back with wood pieces. That's going to be expensive, but it's got to be done. Somebody has gone in there once before and put a bunch of wood in there that doesn't make any sense, doesn't look like anything, so it's not like we could even save what's in there. And I'm not even sure that this is the original side piece on there. Hard to say. I mean, it's just a piece of sheet metal, and it's possible that somebody made a new one. There's not a lot of shape to it, and we're going to have to see when we get new wood. If I would assume there's got to be some curvature in here, maybe even a compound curve, sort of curve this way and that way. So we'll have to see that, and then this metal just tacks into the wood all the way around. But that's what we got to work on next. We can also get up in there in the back and work on that box over the rear end. We had started to work a little bit on the box for the side curtains. We can get after that, but really it's all going to be about getting these pieces of wood and fitting new pieces of wood around there. We've got a lot of repair work to do to the wheel tubs. The edges are not real good condition, so I'm going to look and see if we can roll up some strips and weld them onto the existing wheel tubs to save them. But that's where we are. That's what's got to be done to move on in this project. So we'll see if we can get this front part bolted in and work our way back. With this woodwork, these are the kinds of things that we're going to have to work on here. This outer sheet metal is really just nailed with little brads, worked around the wood and tacked in. And as an example, underneath this sill there's a piece of wood, and it's broken right here. Oh, look at that, imagine that. Okay, here's an example. This is a piece that goes in behind alongside the main frame, and I doubt that this is original. It looks like somebody's made this up. It almost looks as though there's two pieces have been glued together here. And the other thing is that the vertical pieces, this piece back here, normally comes down and overlaps this piece, and the same in the front comes down and overlap. Not done here, so I think somebody's just cobbled that together, stuck something in there. So we're going to have to replace those on both sides. And then in this case here, there's little brads here, and they've been kind of countersunk and then covered up with Bondo. You can see here just these little brads. So what we're going to have to do is get in here and gently kind of work those brads out and try to get that piece out of there. Looking at it, it doesn't look like it's a complicated piece to make, but at the end of the day, if a new piece that's the right shape and the right size is $28 or whatever it is, you're better off just to buy it. Somebody else has already done the hard work. And really what we're looking at here, what I can see so far, is probably $2,000 worth of woodwork if we buy it all. That's short of all of it, but I think that'll get us most of what we need to do the job right. Going to have to look once we get up into these shoulders back here what we really need there, but I think to get started at least we need these pieces, these lower sills that go along the frame, and we need these pieces that go up underneath the door sill here. We're going to need the vertical pieces that go from the bottom up to the dash, and otherwise if we don't put all of that stuff in and tie it all together, we're not going to have any strength in the structure. So here we go, prying nails. So you can see, maybe you can't. We've got a row of little brads along here. We've got a little narrow, real thin wood chisel actually. Try to get up under there, just ever so slightly up under that edge. I'm going to try to reuse this sheet metal so we don't want to mangle it all up. We get under there and work that brad up. We got to knock the Bondo loose. And voila, there's a little nail under there. So get slowly but surely. Oh, Jesus, it's a long way over there. Okay, and we got our little nippers, and just work that brad up out of there, and work our way back to the rear here, and hopefully we can get that piece of wood out of there. There you have it. We got all of those little brads out of there. We got this piece of wood, two pieces. I don't know, somebody made this out of a banana tree or something silly. So I don't know what it is or what it was, but it's in pretty bad shape. In the front here, they had a big old nail from one piece into the other piece. Well, I know that's not right. They did their best to interlock the two pieces, so that just confirms my opinion that we're going to have to dig all this wood out of here and replace it with new stuff. One little narrow at a time. Well, after a couple of hours and a nap, we've been able to liberate this outer skin from the inner panel, the inner wood panel here that we're going to replace. It just had a million little brads holding it in place, and then they were all countersunk a little bit and then covered with Bondo. We got a notch here where we got two notches actually, where there's a rubber bumper in there, and of course those little brads were longer than the others, but we've got it off all the way up. I've never seen an original panel, so I don't know if this is original or not. I don't think it is. Somebody's put all these pie cuts in here after they made the edge to get it to curve around. I would say it's somewhere along the line. Somebody's replaced this one and the one on the other side with some new metal. But we've got all the little brads out all the way back to there, where the shoulder or quarter panel, whatever you want to call it, comes down and meets. And now we can get the wood out from under there and replace it, and hopefully get a little sturdier panel going on there that'll last forever. We removed the vertical piece of wood where the was supposed to be on the front side of the door inside the side panel there, so you can kind of see here it's not real sporty either. I think it's something that somebody made, not very well I might add, and it's kind of broken in the middle here, so we're obviously going to have to replace that. And you can see there where that tied into that other piece. We're just going to have to replace all of this wood. I can't imagine what this car has gone through in its lifetime, but it's certainly been worked on a lot, I would say. I doubt very seriously whether this is an original piece, but who knows, it could be. Just the way that it's cut and fit in certain places. Look like somebody's replaced it. Now, why they replaced it all, who knows? You know, from 1947 on, I suppose even 20 years later, it could have been bad shape and somebody rebuilt it. But here we are. So we're going to have to save up a couple of government checks and put together enough money to put in an order for wood. We'll see how that goes.